Okay,
Yay.
starting again. And I'm pretty sure you guys know us, but we've been doing this a few minutes since 2007, 8, off and on. And we're in the Austin market. Anything else about us? You guys know us. Okay. And I mean, we're not alone. Like Rob's Power Academy at Epic, he basically built his business on open houses. I hear time and time again so many agents talking about how they've built big businesses doing open houses. So, do you want to do this one, Jamie?
Yeah, open houses. I mean, I think it's the number one way, especially new agents or a lull in your business. Over the years when I felt like, oh, I need to get busy, it was always an open house, right? So, we tend to do an open house maybe for the first couple weeks of our listing, and then we just kind of feel like, eh, you know, but there's such a strategic way to go about open houses. And I think now more than ever, with that change with our buyers rep, well, not change, but you know what I mean, in the media, almost half of buyers are going out on their own to an open house to start their search, often without an agent already, attached to them. And so it's a huge way to get in front of buyers. And right now, that's what we need is buyers. So just the instant face to face, like once you get in front of someone, that's when you can truly connect with them, find what that commonality is, build that relationship, and then continue to follow up with them. So we're going to kind of go through all of that from, how to host that open house to get the most people through the door, how to connect those people when they are in the house, and then how to follow up and get it to a close.
Yeah, and I feel like it's so much easier for me to build rapport in person than on the phone because you can see their body language. You can see, if they're walking away from you or not, if when they want to talk to you. And they can see you and you can, I don't know, show your professionalism. I feel like these conversations are so much easier than converting online leads.
Mm-hmm.
And also, especially now, the buyer rep form being mandatory, there are a lot of people who maybe aren't ready for that yet. So the only way for them to see the inside of homes, technically, it should be open houses.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing good traffic. I mean, this is a weird time of year, so it is good to be strategic about the open houses that you do if your goal is to pick up buyers and sellers. But our agents are picking up both buyers and sellers. And so, yeah, it's free-ish. It does take some time and effort, and you can go all out if you want. You can just show up if you want. Like you can really do it however you want. But it is such a good way to add people to your sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, most buyers hire the first competent agent that they speak with. If they're ready to buy and you seem cool and competent, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And it is great for content and walkthroughs and just to let your sphere and social media people know that you're out there busy working. Bonus points if you go live from an open house. It does better in the algorithms.
Right. So everyone, in my opinion, should be doing open houses. The frequency is, of course, up to you and how you want to build your business. So as a new agent, I think it's the number one way. You got to get in those reps, you got to get in those conversations. And the best way to do that is open houses. You're going to have those people coming through. Again, agents who want more leads, agents who want more people in their pipeline. This is the quickest way to do that and shorten that on ramp to a closed deal, right? Leads are great. You got to call them, you got to get them to that first showing. But an open house, they're already in that first showing. They came to you, and now you get to start that conversation already 2 or 3 steps in.
Yeah, and we'll kind of go through these quickly. I also have another version of this and you guys get all these resources. I have links to all these like best of resources for open houses. So just a basic how to. Some people start more than 5 days before with
Hmm.
like finding the house that you want to do, new to market in an area that's hot, priced well, staged, all things I kind of look for. Vacant and stage is ideal because you can do videos, you can do content. It looks nice and pretty. Vacant is always fine too, but side note, bring chairs and a little card table or something because I have sat on many a counter doing open houses without anywhere to sit. But yeah, first make sure that you put it into the MLS correctly so it's blasted out to all the places. And we just heard about kind of a glitch or just something to keep a heads up on. If you're putting it on more than one MLS, make sure the open house is on both MLSs, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
the
Yes.
takeaway from that?
Yep.
Because sometimes Zillow and Realtor.com will syndicate from one or the other on with days on market and open houses and stuff like that. So make sure you put the open house in every MLS where your listing is listed.
Yes.
Um, and then, yeah, you can do some research about the house and make notes about features, upgrades. Always find out how old the roof and HVAC and things like that are, because I feel like we get those questions a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then put it on all the socials. I think the hey, you're invited and the official event does help. You can invite everyone really quickly. It's just another ping to keep yourself in front of them, or who knows, they might know someone looking in that area, or they might
Mm-hmm.
reach out to you. It's just a good reminder.
Yeah.
Make sure you have good photos and
And the geographical element of Facebook, right? So you start that and you put the address in there. It's likely going to share it with the people that are also living in that vicinity. So you will get those neighbors who are like, oh, hey, friend who wanted to move into my neighborhood, look at this, right? Where they're probably not checking, the Zillows and all that.
yeah.
So,
And it's really easy on Facebook to share in the buy sell groups and the moms groups for those local areas, like the suburbs and the neighborhood groups and all the things. So I just kind of scroll and check whichever seems relevant. And even the other agent groups you can post in there. And I always like telling other agents, feel free to send your clients,
mhm.
like I'll send them right back to you, whatever. Just you don't have to do it. If this might be a good fit, tell them to swing by anytime or whatever. It's always nice.
Yep.
Um, oh yeah, and you can also use reverse prospecting. I don't think about this all the time, but it is good.
I do this especially on, hot ones that I know people have liked a lot or favorited a lot. Maybe you just did a big price drop, so you're doing an open house. Go back to those people who have seen it maybe $20,000 ago and see if they want to come back for a second look.
Hmm.
We literally just had a listing close that the people came back three times, I think. And it was on that third time that they're like, okay, yes, this is it. So, it's not always a one and done.
Yep. And I think we kind of just went over this. You can also pass out little half-page flyers to the
Hmm.
neighbors. Some agents are annoyed when nosy neighbors come, but we want nosy neighbors to come. When people see how you do open houses, it's a great way to get listings,
Hmm.
and they might know people that are looking or might want their family or friends to live close to them. So you can also pick up listings, not just buyers at open
Hmm.
houses.
Hmm.
And it's good, a good reason to email your database and invite them to something or a short video text. Those do really well right now.
Hmm.
And then just do a good job when you're there. I think we have a couple of different things on this, but getting people there is one thing. Signs are very important. We always have to check our local rules
Hmm.
and ordinances and suburbs. And if it's a really higher end neighborhood, you have to be really careful about the signage. And in Round Rock, we're supposed to go to the city and get these stickers and pay every single year for different colored stickers to put on our signs. But this is how you're going to get a lot of the foot traffic from drive-by people who um, it's just new people that you wouldn't ordinarily meet or have in your database. So it's usually the best kind. Sometimes the more serious people that are looking and see it in the MLS are already working with agents. So I love the drive-by traffic.
For sure. And creating the mood, right? That's really what this is about. If they have a TV that you can turn on one of those music channels or maybe a dot to say, hey, Google, play this, lo-fi station, candles burning. Some people like to bring fresh baked cookies so it smells like you just made cookies. So, Just all those kind of ways to really make it feel like home, also really help create that experience.
Yeah. And the balloons, I love that, David. The balloons sometimes get all tangled up, but anything to draw attention, especially on the bigger roads. Some people choose their open houses to do because they're easy access to big roads and they'll get the most traffic, no more than like two turns off a bigger road or something like that. So that's interesting too. And an agent over in my area does pinwheels on her signs and
Hmm.
they're always going and they just make you look. But I love that. The signs are always really important. And another thing, I always like to do open houses in the neighborhoods that I'm really familiar with because it's really easy to talk about the schools from personal experience, talk about the parks, talk about what, you're so close to the domain, close to the airport, whatever. But
Hmm.
you can do that in any neighborhood. It just takes 20 minutes of, looking at the other ones that have sold and the days on market and where the parks and schools and all the things are in the neighborhood. So it is a lot easier to have good conversations with people when you make yourself a market expert real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
This is one of the most important pieces that some people like me don't always do, but following up either with questions that they ask that you're going to look into. Hey, let me ask the owners. I'm not sure who they use for internet or about the hot tub or whatever, but I definitely always do that. You can also just send a thanks so much for popping by. Yeah, David, go ahead.
I was going to say definitely on the follow up, but one of the things that Rob Stein did in his open house blueprint
Hmm.
on his training that has been very, very effective that I used to not do as much, but I've been doing more effectively on open houses is set the appointment that at that moment. So
Hmm.
if they're checking in and everything else, see about their interest level, try to get that appointment set at that moment because the difficulty level of trying to get an appointment set afterward is
Hmm.
Yeah,
like
I love
less
that.
than 2%, right? So that has dramatically changed about my engagement with my leads. So,
That's awesome. Yeah.
whatever, go through that open house blueprint, and there's that one chapter about having to set those appointments and overcoming some objections as well.
Yeah,
Tremendously important. So,
absolutely. No, I love that, especially if you can go in a couple hours after the open house or go.
Hmm.
In a minute, we'll talk about partnering with another agent. So you could be like, yeah, would you like to run over there right now or tomorrow or before they have time to change their mind? But yeah,
Hmm.
that's a great tip. The video messages are great. I'm kind of old school and used to send a thank you note in the mail because no one gets mail anymore. You can try to look up their address in the tax records or whatnot, but even text is fine. And do you guys use like the QR code? Because sign-ins, some people just do not want to put their real stuff or write legibly or, want you to contact them. But I've had better luck with the
Yeah.
putting, I get into this in a minute, but putting the note on the front door to kind of set their expectations to sign in. And there's a stand with an iPad that lets them sign in. And then it helps with the follow up. It'll send them similar homes to
Hmm.
the home. They automatically go to your database. They can be tagged with an open house tag. So it's really great. And tech can help you follow up with them as well. But
Hmm.
you can send them a market update a couple days later, an email with similar homes, a video message, and yeah, neighborhood guide or a buyer guide, a lender intro. Just it's good to have touch points with these people several different times to let them know you're on it. You communicate well, you do what you say you're going to do, and you're here, still here,
Yeah,
still here.
exactly.
Jess,
Uh-huh.
can you share the note that you put on the door?
Yes, I will. It's
Oh,
coming up.
oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Hi, Mark. Um, and just so I haven't always had the best attitude about open houses. I get pretty busy on the weekends with kids stuff, and I was like, man, nobody wants to do this open house for my hi Mark for my sellers. And it was a close friend seller, an old school older lady, and she really wanted open houses. And I did too. It was a good listing in a good
Hmm.
part of town. So I did the open house. I didn't prepare very well. But the sweetest people walked in, this young couple. They were not working with an agent. They didn't want to work with an agent. They were asking a lot of questions and they kind of ghosted for a little bit after. I kept following up with them, but they were like, okay, we see the value in hiring an agent. So this was weeks and weeks later. And we're interested in this house. Can you show me? Like they had just been going to open houses time after time, but they were like, we really liked just the style, no pressure. I try to be really honest with everyone. And obviously we also try to sell our listings, but we got along great. They were the sweetest people. They were the most appreciative people ever. They left me a glowing review. I was like, man, this is my ideal client. I want 8 more of you. This was fun. Like shout out open houses. Let's get some more. So
Mhm.
that was my success story recently for an open house.
Yeah. And most recently, similar for me, we try to give all our open houses to our team, and not go do them ourselves. But just, in October, had a listing. My people were super firm on their price. They did have a diamond in the rough of the neighborhood. And so honestly, it was like a last ditch effort. They were like, Jamie, can you just do an open house weekend and then we'll hang it up till the spring, right? So did that, and a neighbor, luckily it's a neighborhood I've lived in as well, so knew a lot of the neighbors still, came through, got to see them again, which is always great. But their brother-in-law was moving here from Wisconsin, and because they came and walked through the house, they saw that value and they said, "Oh, this is different. I see now why their price is so high, why they haven't dropped their price. I think my brother would love this house. He has to live here." So we closed that in November.
That's
And I
awesome.
truly believe that without having done that open house weekend, we would be waiting until spring.
Yeah, without
So
actually being there in person, it's hard to get a good feel for the house.
it really is. And so sometimes those looky loo neighbors, you just gotta
Hmm.
let them in and be friendly, and they truly do have someone for that home in mind for that home. So
That's true. And I always said open houses usually don't sell homes, blah, blah, blah. But I've had someone walk in and they were the ultimate end buyers of the home as well. Yes, I do have the slides and I'm happy to share them, you guys. This is a little bit of a crazy slide, but the point here, this was from Brent Gove, and someone else that's a really top producer, and they use these generic, bright yellow and black signs, but it's been proven that this draws the eye. It makes people look, it's bright, it catches their attention, and that's the point. So they don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be, and sometimes the really fancy ones with the really fancy fonts are like hard to read.
mhm.
You can't see what you're supposed to do. You can't see any of them. And he uses the free list of area homes to get people in the door. And he was like, use 40 of them, put 40 signs out. And so I'm like, oh, it's the worst part is putting and picking up the signs when it's hot and stuff. But these are just other random thoughts about open houses. There's an awesome agent in my neighborhood who does really well. She's a good friend of mine. I love her, and she's a great agent. I would use her if I was also a great agent. But her signs like have a big thing of Mr. T, and they say, "I pity the fool that doesn't come to my open house." And Lionel Richie, hello, is this the open house that you're looking for? Like they're so funny, and I always smile, and I swing by and say hi to her. But you can bring your personality into these open houses. And we just talked to an agent yesterday and she's like, I love open houses. I love baking. I
Mhm.
love cute little printouts from Etsy. Like I just love to cook and I love this area. And I used to go to title companies and get all these free flyers of different areas, wineries around town, whatever
Mhm.
is relevant to the area. But those are there for your disposal too. And I feel like it makes you look professional if you have something to hand out, flyers, your cards you can hand out, or you can say, let me get your information and
Mhm.
I will send you that. so that you can follow up with them. But yeah, if you're whatever feels like you. If you want fancy signs, just make sure you can read them. If you're funny, make funny signs. If whatever you like to do, whatever your style is, it just sets you apart from any other boring agents doing open houses that they might also be going to.
For sure.
Um,
What
and
I
And just kind
do
of search.
is,
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
what I do is I create a page in Canva about the open house, and on the back I put in, if it's on a Saturday, I put in the open houses for the weekend in the neighborhood. So I put like just like one picture of the house when there are open houses, and I make sure and have my card attached. It has my name on the flyer,
Mm-hmm.
and so people will keep it with them, and
Yeah,
that's when
that's
and
a good
that's,
idea.
yeah, that's been like very helpful. People are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so great." And then they have your information.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great idea. And yeah, it'd be great if our brokerage would help with that too, but it's a lot.
It
But
is.
there's like Craigslist, and I knew a guy that would hire like a college kid. So I'm gonna get there in a second on another slide, but he would do like 3 or 4 in a day, and he would hire kids to move his signs around and put the signs out and pick them up. And it was a thing, and he did very well with it. Um, so yeah, you can make sure you have lender information if they have questions about rates or payments or down payment or anything like that. You can bring tripod, Pivo, shout out, whatever, if you want to record content, um, water, snacks.
Well, and just to speak on the safety aspect too, because that is a topic when you're talking about open houses. You can partner with another agent. Y'all can choose to 50-50, whoever comes across. You can take every other, unrepresented, but however you want to slice that pie, right? But having another person there, sometimes it can be your lender, it could be a title rep, it could be your spouse, right? Just, hey, come hang out with me for 2 hours and make sure I don't get murdered.
Oh, and your spouse can put signs out too, but it's so much
Yes.
easier to put signs out when one person's driving and one
Yes.
person runs out. I bring my 13-year-old daughter, and I'm like, I'll give you $20 if you come do this open house with me. And it's just, yeah, nice, makes you feel safer. It's so much easier with signs, and they're more fun to do together. You can sit and film each other for content and alternate leads or work them all together and alternate on the follow-up. So I Laura Tumulty in this photo and I did open houses together all the time, and we became really close friends, and we were just at her house last night. But it's just more fun. So if you're interested in that, post in a group, and I'm sure you could find someone fun to do open houses with you, or invite your lender. And also, to David's point of like making an appointment right then, if these people are like, oh, I really just need an extra bedroom, or whatever it is, after you've done your research, you can be like, yeah, there's actually one in the next neighborhood over. It's great. And it has that many bedrooms. And here's the address. I can hop over and show you right now if you have more than one person to me in your open house. So that's good too. I meant to ask Elizabeth about how she's on our team in Austin. She's been really doing well with open houses on her listings and other people's listings. What are you doing that's working right now, Elizabeth?
so what I do is, I do list, I like looking in the MLS. So there's a specific area that I'm trying to grow my brand in. And so I'll look in that area on the MLS for homes that have just had a recent price change. I like homes that have been on the market for a while, because there's people that have been watching them. And again, with like people not wanting to sign the buyer rep agreement, even the short form one, it's been, I still get really good traffic. I also, I do the lofty sign in, and I do it where like, what's your budget? How many bedrooms? My form is pretty in depth. And if
Nice.
they say, oh, well, I have an agent, I'm saying, well, put your agent's info in here. I'd love to follow up with them.
Yeah.
And
It is good to be able to contact the agent about any price drops or, any changes to the listing.
mhm,
I don't know.
yeah.
That is good info.
And I also like to do like Sunday from 1 to 3, I feel like is the best time.
Okay.
So I do Saturday 1 to 3 or Sunday 1 to 3. And because it's like typically there's no UT football on Saturdays until later, and then Sundays it's kind of like, people are just out and about.
Yeah.
I also put everything on the when I list stuff on Facebook Marketplace, I'll go update the listing for my open house. And then everybody that's contacted me for about the property, I go in there and I'll send them a message. Hey, I'm having an open house tomorrow from blah blah blah. You should stop by. And it's really helped you know, build up a lot of people to come to the open house.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else am I doing? But I do the lofty so that it automatically
Get
like
there,
you
right.
get their info, and then it also starts with like a property search and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then when I do the open house, I greet everybody. I shake their hand and give them my card, and then let them go around the house. I don't try to follow people. I just say, let me know if you have any questions, because some people do like that, some people don't. And, for the most part, they just want to look around. And then when they're done and they have questions, I always ask them, so what are you looking for? And I just do probing questions
Mhm.
and make notes. Sorry. And I make notes. And then, like I had a couple come to my open house last week, and they told me they were coming in town and that they wanted to go look at a couple of their houses in the area. So we scheduled appointments for immediately afterwards.
Mhm.
But
Awesome.
then it's just keep like following up.
Yep.
Like the fortune is in the follow up. That always,
And if
helps.
if they're already in Lofty, you can add a reminder, add a task, help use.
And I always call for, I'll either send a text and say, thank you for coming to the open house. And then I'll call so that they have my name and my number will pop up,
Mhm.
and it won't populate as spam.
Smart. Yep. That's
And
smart.
then yeah. So those are the
Awesome.
few things that have been working for me.
I feel like Elizabeth gets a new buyer every weekend from open houses.
Mhm.
It's really
Back in the deck.
working well. I know. I'm like,
I
wow,
know.
people are actually coming
Yeah.
and
Well, I had
you
this
have
one couple come really late at 3 o'clock, and I was closing up, and they're like, "Can we
voice.
please, yeah, can we please see the house?" I was like, "Absolutely." And so I showed them the house, and my laptop was put up, and I was like, "Well, let me go ahead and get your information." And they're like, "Well, we don't have an agent, and we want to move to like more central. Can you help us?" And I was like, "Of course." So
Yes, I
yeah. And even one open house, like my third open house I ever did, a gentleman walked in and said he wants to buy a house, he wants to pay cash, and literally 2 days later we were under contract.
Yeah.
And
That's
I was,
crazy and amazing. We had another agent that wanted to break into the luxury market, and he focused on two neighborhoods and did open houses, and he got buyers, he got sellers. He also found an agent that needed help with open houses. A lot of these luxury agents don't want to do open houses every
Mhm.
weekend, and if their sellers will allow, that I feel like that's the biggest way on how he broke into the luxury market.
that's
Mhm.
how I've been doing it. I do
Yeah.
a certain price point in Northwest Hills in that area. I have a couple of agents assistants reach out to me and say, "Hey, do you want to host this, this and that?" And whenever you stick in the same area, which I'm a firm believer in doing this, stay in the same
Mhm.
area, because you
Mhm.
will see
Yeah.
people multiple times.
Mhm.
And when you do that, they're like, "Oh, hey." And it just kind of builds that rapport, and they start to associate you with that area. um but yeah,
Totally. They
I
see your
love.
face over and over again. And
Mhm.
um, Laura, one of my besties on this call too, has done some different things with challenges, and new construction. Can you talk about what has worked for you in new construction and the challenges?
So new construction, I think it's super important to always have a really good relationship with your sales professional. And what I do is I have different price points. Like I'll have starter entry kind of area, then I'll have mid, and then I'll have higher end. So I try to go visit those salespeople at least once a month, usually toward the beginning of the month or the last week of the month. So I can get updated with their incentives, what they have to offer, what their inventory is. So I think it's really smart to build a relationship with them, because I have so many of them that people come in with no agents, and I'm like, hey, whatever you need. I know you guys are offering a 5% bonus or whatever the bonus is. I'm like, if you need help above and beyond your seller concessions that you're offering, whatever you need, just let me know. I will represent the buyer, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And I would say probably 80% of my business this year has been from sales counselors.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've had people that couldn't quite qualify right now, and so they needed a little bit more time, and they connected me with them. Or if they had a house to sell, those people are not licensed realtors for the most part. And so if they have a house to sell, they and aren't working with an agent yet, I've
No.
gotten business that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have a couple more things, so let me get through them and then we can chat. But Laura, I thought of you on this one too, because when I first heard this, I was like, there's no way. But there were people doing 8 in a weekend, or 100 in 100 days, right, Laura? Is that what you said?
So our group has started the 100 open house challenge, 100 open houses in 100 days. And it all stemmed from, I'm obsessed with TikTok, and I follow this guy, Sam Walls. And he's been doing it. So I've just kind of been watching his progression. And I think he's at 93-ish, and he's already gotten, 10 people under contract, several listings, buyer reps. He's amazing. I think he's in the Arizona or Florida market. So our group has implemented that. I'm only on 8, but already one buyer under buyer rep. They're not ready till the spring, but just staying current with, staying active.
Pipeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try the 1 hour open house. I've heard that it works really well.
It does.
Yeah.
Because people will always come at the end, or if they see the open house and want to see the house, they'll do it. And then also Robbie Johnson just said, what about a Thursday morning? If it's by an elementary school, do coffee and donuts, and do it when all of the traffic taking kids to the schools is happening. They can stop by, get donuts for the kids, get coffee. Like, it doesn't have to be Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And I've done them and put the football games on at the open house in case,
Nice.
And so if you get those people through, they're not going to be the real fans out looking at open houses right then. But people, like, people
4 to 6 is another good time, Jess. Like, if you have a neighborhood that you're targeting, like my neighborhood that I live in, I've been doing, well, right now, since it gets dark earlier, I'm doing 3 to 5, but just a wine and cheese. And I posted it on the neighborhood group, and you'd be surprised at how many neighbors like stop by just to visit. And then you end up learning so much from them.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's a vacant house in your neighborhood that's on the market, I'm sure the listing agent would love help doing open houses. Yeah. And the afternoons are great. Broker opens are great. I usually see them like Wednesdays or Thursdays, depending on the listing and the marketing and how high end you want to go. With Crown, I had like an acoustic guitar guy. I had wine and snacks like sandwiches. We tried to go all out, and it was well received. And these sellers wanted really detailed information about the people that looked at their house and their situation, and it is helpful so you can follow up with people in more relevant ways. But yeah, this guy that I learned this stuff from did 1.5 hours. I think he had people put out the signs for him, and he would just, find them kind of in the same area-ish and just rotate. And people will be like, dang, you're working hard. You're out here at 9 a.m. in the morning. Or if you're the first person they see or the last person they see, it does leave an impression on people coming through.
Yeah, for sure.
Velma, go ahead.
Yeah, we have somebody in our team that does these 4 on Saturday and 4 on Sunday. And he'll only host his for an hour. And he tested this to see if he was going to see a drop off in the number of visitors. And he said he didn't, because people were going to come. They're going to make their way to it if they're interested.
Yeah.
And he's like, his business hasn't seen a hit or anything like that. So he's continuing to do them only for an hour. And he does the same thing. He'll make it so that they're within a time frame where he can get to the next one within 30 minutes and get set up over there. So he does the same thing. He'll do 4 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday.
Nice.
But he only does his for an hour. And so he
Mhm.
can kind of shorten his day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
But yeah,
love
he
that.
hasn't seen a drop off in his business at all, and
Mhm.
and
I
in the
bet
number of
that's
visitors
true.
that he was seeing.
Yeah,
So
that's a great idea.
yeah.
And so I don't know, can you guys still see my screen when
Yes.
so these are templates like for the neighbors, if you wanted to leave a little note and say, I'm doing a house over here and leave your card. I'd like to put an open house sign, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it is nice. And I know people that even did a little $5 Starbucks gift card. Thank you so much. If there's any issues with my sign here, please call me and I'll let you know.
Mhm.
Um, this is just a good way to not have to,
Preface.
not have to borrow people, bug people and set expectations that the owner has requested us to have all visitors sign in upon entering the open house. Please use however, if you're a realtor, trigger the lockbox and we'll get your info. So then you may not have to do all of that. I put a bunch of feedback form examples here. There's short ones, long ones, different sign-in sheets. These are some good scripts. And then this is a process too, similar to the one that was in our slides. And there's also a big Excel spreadsheet if you're like me and your brain needs like a spreadsheet to understand things. You can say who things are assigned to if you have a VA or someone that helps you with things. Um, there's all kinds of resources. Everyone does it different ways, but I would challenge you guys, encourage you guys to stay open-minded about open houses and make them work for you, make them feel like you, add your personality or fun into them because they really do work.
Yeah.
Hi, Jose. Hi, Mark. Do
really
y'all have anything to add or anything that works for you guys with open houses?
Has anybody done a geo-targeted mailer prior to?
No, we've done pass out things and hit, the 25 or 50 neighbors around just walking through, but not with mailers. I bet that would work though.
What about offering a gift certificate if they show up, bait them?
Yeah, that's true. I have done a lot of neighborhood open houses
Mhm.
and they've even had like a raffle, like you get a ticket at each house and, we're
Yeah.
giving away things and
Gift
it's
card.
good because all these other realtors are out there marketing your open house for you too.
Mhm.
And it's a good way to build relationships with other realtors. Like a lot of people that are into agent attraction hit open houses and talk to other realtors. And it is a good way to just say, how's it going? How's everything? But that's a great idea. The mailers, Mark. I love it.
I think I've mentioned it on one of our morning or Monday calls, but we do. I was trying to find one, but I can't find it for the second. But we do these cute little like door hangers that are
Mm-hmm.
pre-printed, and so it looks really professional, and it's lovely to put a door hanger on.
Yeah,
I'm always afraid the flyer is gonna like blow off, but I
I
feel
Mhm.
like,
know.
and I think it looks professional,
It does.
so I think that's
And you
something
don't have
that
to put it under the
yeah,
mat where they're going to step on it or it's going to get wet or whatever. That is a
Mhm.
great idea.
yeah.
They're
So
very cute. I love
And
that.
you can put on those door hangers too. What you can do is actually put a QR code on there on the back of it, so they can say, "Hey, are you interested in like whatever? Register here, or see what your home value is worth, or whatever
Mhm.
the case may be," so that you can get that kind of feedback, and then you can get their pre-register for like what Mark was
Yeah.
saying. That works really well in
oh
terms of gift certificate or something like that. Must register or must sign in
Mhm.
to be in the
Yes.
raffle for that thing. So that way they make sure that their information is correct as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's another one of those reasons why you want to give them that if you can afford it or whatever to give them that gift card, that little raffle thing, an Amazon gift card or something like that.
That's
Yeah.
a
That
great
makes
idea.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I also heard a guy talk who had a clipboard and he stood at the door and he was like, "Are you pre-registered? Oh, okay. What's your name?" And he would look down and it's a lot harder to like fudge when he's like, "Okay, and phone number is it 512?" And he would just wait for them before they entered the house, got their info so they didn't have to do it. And, yeah, you have to be registered. The owner wants everyone to register and people do. And I've heard of people getting like a little food truck or snow cone thing or, coffee.
Mhm.
There's all kinds of creative
The
ideas
barista.
that can you know, make you stand out and have people be like, wow, I have never seen an open house like this. This is awesome. I'm going to refer you, or I want you to work with me, or whatever it is.
There is some things that I've done in the past too, that I've been able to leverage other open houses or other agents in the neighborhood. So I've done neighborhood open houses where it's kind of like a parade of homes. And
Yes.
so the reason why I'm leveraging that is because I'm leveraging their signs, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're all having each other's signs, and then we do a pre-printed flyer that every one of us could actually print out ahead of time and have it at our open house, which has all the five or six different open houses that are going on at the same time, and say, hey, you know, go check out this other one. And so you guys are helping each other out as well. Hopefully you're gonna stand out more, but you know, there's plenty of business to go around. So, you know,
Yeah.
that might say, hey, you know, if you're interested in this house, you know, let me know, or you know, just let's set up an appointment or whatever the case may be. So some of those group ones really do help to drive more traffic into your open houses. So,
Yeah.
and the key again is your follow up, right? So most of those agents aren't going to follow up as much as much as you can. So yeah,
Staple your card to the bottom of that flyer so that they
Right.
have your information. But yeah,
right.
that's a great idea.
I think it's helpful
I've
too. Like if you do a video, if it's your listing, I guess I'm thinking more I've done it for my own listings, but where if I've done a video, I do that in my follow up is send the video because I know I want them to see it in person. Like I want them to come to the house and see
yeah.
it with me or or whomever's hosting. But I'll do follow up and I'll do a YouTube link to the video so that they can see it again if they really liked it. But then also if my hope would be if they even if they don't love the house, but if they're like, oh, you're an agent who puts a video on YouTube,
Yeah.
that maybe that's another like benefit that they'll
Absolutely.
see.
Yeah.
That's
Love
a great
that, Jen.
idea. Yep. I've seen little photo booths inside of open houses. If you guys watch the Selling Sunset type shows, like Burgers and Botox open houses, they go all out. It's so fun, the entertaining things that people just get creative. And I've read Ryan Serhant's books too, and he has had like a music video filmed in one of his listings. And it's just cool to be creative and think outside the box on some of these things. As much traffic and visibility that we can get for our sellers, the better.
You know, another option too is partnering with a local business, like a local coffee shop or something like that as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's another draw, it's another value add that you can bring to the table. It doesn't cost you anything. They're happy to get their name out in the local business, and then of course they're going to refer each other, right? So hey, yeah, I was looking at a house. Oh my gosh, you know, I'm my real estate partner is having an open house this weekend or whatever the case may be. So, you know, involving that local community, again, getting your name out there, dominating your community, right, is dominating your market. So, to Jennifer's or Elizabeth's point is that the more consistent you're out there, it's not just that your neighbors are going to know that you're an agent and you know this area really well. It's actually they're going to be talking to people like, oh, do you know a good agent? Oh yeah, this person over here does. They're all over the place, right? So, you know, hitting them with flyers and open houses and just getting your name out there. You'll see, like I saw an agent who was doing open houses in one neighborhood, and I popped in to go because I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I said, hey, because I was like stalking him essentially. I was like, hey, I'll catch him at his open house. So he had another person come in, and he was like, and she was looking at the house and everything else. And I was like, who? He's like, he goes, yeah, she comes here all the time to all my open houses. Like, yeah, and like what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to help nurture that? Because she sees you all the time. She's developing some trust, and I kind of like guided her to him and saying, hey, he can help you out with some things because she was planning to sell her house and she was looking for another replacement. I was like, you know, what are you doing to help them? So that does work. And I was like, these people keep coming to the same open house and they still see you, and eventually they'll turn. Eventually they'll come to you, whatever the timing is. So yeah.
That's great. I love that. I had another thought. What was it? But yeah, if you're focusing on farming a neighborhood, doing open houses consistently in the same neighborhood and just everyone seeing your face and your signs everywhere makes you omnipresent to them. It makes people think that you're everywhere, and it reminds me, it just looks like you're killing it, whether it's your listing or not. It's fun. It's kind of making me want to do an open house.
I love it.
I'm inspired to do I've never done the 4 open houses in a day and doing maybe the hour ones.
Yes, that's
in
great.
the neighborhood.
Yeah,
For sure.
So
I
I
love
think
that.
that'll be awesome.
yeah.
Does anyone else have any tips or tricks or hacks or questions?
There's some tools in Lofty too about promoting other people's listings. So if you're doing an open house for someone else, there's some tools where you can actually highlight a listing or a premier listing. There's a step-by-step guide to do that, so you can use that if it's not your own listing, and then help. I mean, obviously, most listing agents are thrilled to get more exposure to their listing, right? They
Yep.
don't they really don't care, and they shouldn't. They should be very opening to that. But there's some things on there to do the same thing as if it was your own listing. You can put it on your website. You can put it, send it to your social media, share it to create the event and all that other stuff. But then it goes to your website. The lead goes to your contact information so that
Yeah.
you have that information, but it's not your listing, right? So
Yeah.
contact me to go see it in more depth or whatever the case may be. So
Yeah. And I always say yes if other agents want to do an open house, and I update my sellers and I'm like, there was another open house this weekend. They don't ask who did it if they're out of town. Here was the feedback we received. I make sure I get lots of detailed information about how many groups through, what was the feedback, did anyone have any questions or seem interested or stay a long time? And sellers love it.
They
So
do.
it's a win-win. All right. What else, you guys? Any other tips or questions? I put the link to the slides in the chat, and we are available. Please reach out to us. Let me know if you need anything. And it was so good to see your faces this morning. Hope you guys
Yes.
have a great day and weekend and all the things. Stay warm.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, I had another one.
Yeah.
I haven't done this yet, but I've been wanting to. In terms of your snacks and everything else, chips or cookies or water bottles, put your branding, some stickers on them as
Yep.
well, so that they can take them with them. If you can get it to tear off, even better. But have it
Koozie,
continue
like-
with that marketing.
I
So
just grabbed a koozie it was a New Home Community, but I'm like, sure, I'll take a water in this cute koozie. Anyway, yeah, that's a great idea, David. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Let us know if you need anything and have a great weekend. It's good to see y'all. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you.